To solve equations like these, we need to get rid of the last thing you wrote. So what you can do is rewrite the whole equation again, starting with the pronumeral, and just keep a track of what you're writing last. So if I had to write this, I would do x upon 4 take away 1. So take away 1 is the last thing I'm doing on the left hand side. So that's the first thing I'll remove. So what I'll do, I'll take -1 to the right hand side. When I take it to the right hand side, it becomes a plus, and that becomes 6. So if you're following my handwriting, 4 was the last thing I wrote on the left hand side, so I'll get rid of the 4 now. So I'll take 4 on the left hand side, towards the right hand side, and it becomes a multiplication. So 6 4 is 24. Okay, we'll follow the same technique here. If we rewrite this whole equation, 5a upon 4, you notice that 4 would be the last thing you're writing, so 4 would be the first thing that you'll remove. So we'll take 4 to the right hand side. Because 4 is divided here, it becomes, or it gets multiplied. So 10 4 is 40, and then we need to get rid of that 5 by removing it and taking it to the right hand side. 5 is multiplied to 8, so if you take it to the right hand side, 40 will be then divided by 5. So a equals 8. Next example has got x plus 2 upon 3. So can you imagine me writing x plus 2 upon 3? 3 would be the last thing to write on the left hand side. So that would be the first thing I'll remove. I'll take the 3 that side towards the right hand side. So 3 is divided on the left hand side. When I take it to the right hand side, 3 is multiplied to -4. -4 times 3 is -12. And then I'll take the 2 to the right hand side. 2 is added. When I take it to the left hand side, it's subtracted, and the answer we get is -10. All right. Now let's have a look at this problem. Once again, the best way to decide which one to move first is to rewrite the equation starting from the pronumeral. So the pronumeral is x, so I'll do divide by 2, and 7 take away that value. So 7 was the last thing I wrote. I will get rid of 7 first. I will take 7 to the right hand side. You have to keep that negative sign with x upon 2 because that sign belongs to that. So negative x upon 2 remains on the left hand side. That is a -3. The 7 is a positive. When it goes to the right hand side, it becomes a -7. Hence on the right hand side, -3 minus 7 is -10. So you got negative x upon 2 now. So I'll get rid of the 2 and take it to the right hand side, and I can take that negative sign with the 2. So I'll take -2 to the right hand side. When I take -2 to the right hand side, because 2 is divided, it becomes a multiplication. So x equals negative times negative becomes a positive. 10 times 2 is 20. So x is equal to 20. Let's have a look at questions with brackets. All you need to do is expand the bracket. So we'll take 2 and multiply with y, and then we'll take 2 and multiply with 5. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times positive 5 is positive 10. And then I'll get rid of the 10. It's a addition there, so on the right hand side it becomes subtraction. So 20 minus 10 is 10, and then I'll take a 2, take the 2 on the right hand side, or to the right hand side rather. It becomes a division, and the answer is y is equal to 5. I can do the same here. There is another option. Instead of expanding the bracket, you can also remove the 3 and take it to the right hand side, especially when you recognize that this number is divisible by 3. So when it's not divisible, this number is not divisible by the number that is outside the bracket, then you can expand the bracket. But here we see that it's possible. So what I'll do, take the 3, and because 3 is multiplied on the right hand side, it gets divided. Three goes into negative 21 7 times. And then I'll take the 5, negative 5 to the right hand side. Dividing by 2, the answer is negative 1. When you have two brackets, you expand both of the brackets. We'll expand the first one, take 2 and multiply with b, we get 2b. Then take 2 and multiply with negative 1, we get negative 2. Now this is the tricky part. When you're expanding this bracket, you must include the sign that is outside there. So negative 3 is multiplied to b, not just 3. So negative 3 multiplied by b is negative 3b. Negative 3 multiplied by negative 2. Negative and the negative multiply to give a positive. 3 and 2 multiply to give a 6. And I can collect like terms now. 2b and a negative 3b are like terms. Negative 2 and positive 6 are like terms. 2b minus 3b is negative b. Negative 2 plus 6 is positive 4. Then I'll take the 4 to the right hand side. 4 is subtracted from 5. We get a 1. And now I'll divide by negative 1 to get rid of that negative sign. I'll divide by negative 1 on the right hand side as well. So negative divided by negative is a positive. So we get b on the left hand side, and 1 divided by negative 1 is negative 1. So b equals negative 1. Now these two examples have got unknowns on both sides. How do we solve that? It's very simple. All you need to do is collect the like terms. So what I'll do, I'll take the 4x to the left hand side, and I'll get this negative 2 to the right hand side. So I'm collecting the x's on one side and the numbers on the other side. So on the left hand side I've got 6x. 4x is a positive. When it comes to the left hand side, it becomes a negative 4x. And this 2 is already a minus or a negative, let's say. And when it goes to the right hand side, it becomes a plus. So 6x minus 4x is 2x. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Then taking this 2 on to the right hand side, because it's multiplied, it's divided on the right hand side. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Let's have a look at this particular question now. What I can do is expand the brackets first on the right hand side. So I'll take negative 3 and multiply with that x, and I get negative 3x. And then I'll take the negative 3 and multiply with the negative 2. Negative and negative becomes positive. 2 times 3 is 6. And like I did with this particular question, I will collect like terms. I'll take the x to the left and I'll get the 1 to the right. Because 3x there is a negative, when it moves to the right hand side, left hand side, it becomes a plus, and a 1 is a positive. I move it to the right hand side, it becomes a minus, and that becomes 5x is equal to 5. Getting rid of the 5 and dividing on the right hand side, we get 1 as the answer.